Hey guys, today I'm trying out a new video format with EU4 since I find it quite hard to fit in a full 2 or so EU4 games every month with Eu4. Hope you enjoy my first achievement run in EU4. So today I'm going to try to get the Chrysanthemum Throne achievement. To do this I need to unite Japan as a daimyo. I picked Hosokawa because it's a little bit more challenging than the other big ones in Japan. Do it! My starting moves were to grab a couple of allies and get some cavalry in my army, then to attack as soon as I could. I also started out with some basic estate stuff so I could take and sell land easily. To try and increase my chances of survival, I allied some nations that usually become powerful so that I would have a chance if I need to become independent early. And I got some allies that I thought I could bring into my wars. My first target was Tsutsui, since they only had one ally. With my extra galley combat ability, I was confident that I could keep them confined to the island. Then I made the decision to try and split them up by leaving my capital open for one of their armies. With their armies split, I could engage them separately and get a stack wipe on both. One of their armies managed to run for a bit, but I finally caught them in Kyoto. Then I caught the rest of their army above Kyoto.
Nice.
Then I went to war with the Shiki to avoid fighting Oichi's allies. I immediately got a stack wipe on their army, which made this war much easier. They almost took my capital, but I was able to catch them right before they were able to take it. Then, after signing white peace with Imago, I annexed Tsutsui. Then I ended the other war by just taking Suo to allow me to better control the strait. Then, since Kono wasn't being that useful, I decided to betray them by getting them called into a war against me. It then immediately turned into a siege race. However, I didn't want to risk losing the war, so I hired a free company to help take them out. After getting 2 stack wipes, I occupied Kono and was blocked by other armies sieging Imago, and was forced to take one province in the war. Then I went to war with Otomo to get my core back from Yamana and more. I was able to immediately stack wipe their army. Then, when the war was almost over, Ashikaga did what we call a dick move and killed my leader. And now I was unable to declare offensive wars until my leader came of age. I was unable to take a lot of territory in the peace deal because of my aggressive expansion with Ashikaga. I used the Regency to core all the land I took and get rid of rebels.
Bruh.
I also decided to spawn the Renaissance in my capital. Nearing the end of the Regency, I was finally able to embrace the Renaissance. Sadly, I wasn't able to core everything before the end of the Regency, so I kept doing that before going to war. I also decided to build up a few galleys. After finally stabilizing my country, I decided to go to war with Otomo so I could take out Yamana before Ashikaga decided to annex them. With Suo under my control, I was able to cut off the entire southern island of Japan with ease. Also, stack wipe. After I took out their army with that stack wipe, I occupied both Yamana and Oichi pretty quickly, but I had to wait to sign the peace deal because Ashikaga would join a coalition if I did it too early. While I waited, I decided to finally replace my mercenaries with actual troops. However, I got bored and decided an extra 7 or so development wasn't worth the war exhaustion. However, I still couldn't take any more land without Ashikaga joining a coalition, so I used this peacetime to stabilize my country once again. I also managed to finish up some missions while I was at peace. Then I built up my army and decided that I was no longer scared of Ashikaga and went to war with the intention of conquering the entire southern island. After the first war in the southern island, I took a small break just to let the war exhaustion go down a bit. Then, after my war exhaustion was gone, I decided to finish the conquest. I also decided to pick quantity ideas as my first idea group. I also planned to move north after my southern conquest, so I started breaking my alliances in advance. Now that the south had been conquered, it was only a matter of time before my truces in the north were over. While I was waiting for the truce to run out, I managed to get a couple of cannons into my army. Then Ashikaga declared war on Ainu, and I didn't really help them since they didn't need it. Ainu then became a daimyo, but that wasn't really a problem since they weren't that strong anyway. Once my truce finally ran out, I declared war upon Hatakeyama immediately. I was able to keep their army trapped on the southern island and stack wipe them. Then I quickly sieged Hatakeyama and their ally down and annexed both. Yusegi didn't like that, and that meant they were my next target after the truce was over. Now that my truce was over, I went to war with Yusegi. This would be the last war before I declared my independence, so I took as much as I could. I was able to immediately catch their army at the beginning of the war, making this a cakewalk. Their army retreated into Ainu territory, meaning that I could just keep them there with my navy while I sieged their entire country. Sadly, I was unable to fully annex them, so they were left with one province. Before I went to war with Ashikaga, I decided I would core and state a lot of my land and deal with the rebels. And then I got a free 465 and quickly dealt with the pretenders. Then after coring mostly everything, I put my armies in place and declared war to become the Emperor of Japan. Then I was able to immediately engage their armies. After chasing the enemy armies for a bit, I was able to destroy the last of their forces, and now I only needed to siege down Yusegi and Ainu. However, I got enough force score to do what I wanted without even dealing with the Ainu, and I was able to form Japan shortly after. Now all I had to do was diplo vassalize Ryukyu and wait for the truce to run out with Ashikaga. I also decided to get colonialism during the truce since I was beginning to get a lot of monarch points. Then, once the truce was over, it was time to
Finish him!
After this peace deal, all I had to do now was core all of Japan. While I waited, I decided to do exploration ideas instead of trade ideas. I also kind of forgot to drill my armies this entire time. And then, as soon as the last core was done, I got the achievement. If you would like to see me continue this game with the same sort of post commentary, then please leave a like and a comment telling me to do more like this.